Welcome everyone to the video games pickup video for December 2023, and needless to say, December was a very Sega inspired month because I picked up 4 Sega Saturn games, a game inspired by a Sega franchise, and well, kind of the oddball out of the bunch, a PlayStation 1 Atlas RPG. But what makes that interesting is Atlas is now a subsidy of Sega, so they actually all correlate to each other. And it is a very Sega-inspired month. So without further ado, let's get to the first game of the bunch. The newest game I picked up, inspired by my favorite Dreamcast game, Jet Set Radio. For the Nintendo Switch, I picked up the physical edition of Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Now I'm excited to play this game, especially with Sega just seemingly out of the blue announcing a new Jet Set Radio game, as well as like 4 other games based on their classic franchises. This game I was super excited for because it really takes the art style and the feel of Jet Set Radio for the Dreamcast, and for that matter, Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox. I haven't played any of this game. I haven't really watched a lot of footage on it, but I've seen like the pictures, and I knew when they announced the physical edition of it, I had to get that. With that being said, let's go into the Dreamcast game I picked up, because I actually own the Japanese version of this game. And I never knew they were the same game for the sheer fact that I don't know Japanese. So the little bit that I played of the Japanese game, I couldn't understand what was going on. And what makes this even more interesting is that this is made by Climax Software, the same people who made Dark Savior on the Sega Saturn, a game that I love. So I picked up Time Stalkers for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, like I said, haven't really played more than 5 minutes of this game over the years. So I figured it would finally be nice to pick it up, play through it, because I played Dark Savior after I played the Japanese version of this game for 5 minutes. Dark Savior I played through fully, and I liked Climax Software's storytelling style, so hopefully Time Stalkers is right up there with that. Now, when we talk about the lone PlayStation game I picked up, it's actually a really interesting one because it's like a musical strategy RPG game. It's kind of cutesy. I had never heard of it until I saw an eBay listing for it. And that's a game called Rhapsody, a musical adventure. Now, it kind of looks like adorable from certain things on the back. I've read it's only like a 10-hour game. It definitely seems like something I'll put in just to have a little bit of fun with it. I don't know much about it, and it's an Atlas game for that matter that I've never heard of. So that's kind of weird because I've seemingly found out a lot of Atlas franchises over the years. And Rhapsody was one, especially for the PlayStation 1, which is a system I actively collect for. I'm surprised I had never heard of this game. Now, let's go into the Sega Saturn games, because another game I had never heard of has a PlayStation 1 version, and it's called Johnny Bazooka Tone. Now, it says Save the Soul of Rock and Roll. Now, I don't know what this game is supposed to be, aside from it looks like a 2D action or 2.5D action platformer. I saw it on someone's Hidden Gems video, and that was the first time I had ever seen this game, and I've watched a lot of Hidden Gems videos, so I figured either this guy really liked the game or it might actually be a fun game. So it wasn't super expensive, so I decided to pick it up. Speaking of games that I see on a lot of Hidden Gems videos, I've seen the next game on Hidden Gems videos since the moment I started collecting for the Sega Saturn. Probably even before I started collecting for the Sega Saturn, and that is Mr. Bones. Now, just like Johnny Bazooka Tone, this does seem to have a rock and roll kind of theme to it, except for the fact that you are this badass skeleton. I almost said Skellington. This ain't The Nightmare Before Christmas. It looks a little bit darker, it looks a little bit grungier, but as a game I've seen so much over the years on Hidden Gems videos, I am excited to finally play this, and I'm also intrigued the fact that this game is 2 discs, so it's seemingly on the longer side, I suppose, but I'm excited to finally have this in collection. And at one point, I had the choice to either get this or Scud the Disposable Assassin for the Sega Saturn, and I went with Scud. And Scud was a decent game within itself, but I think I'm going to like Mr. Bones a little bit more. The next game is a game I totally forgot about on the Saturn. I saw videos of this years ago, and I think I just totally forgot about it because it was a little bit on the pricier side at that time. I got this for a really good price this time around, and I'm excited to finally play it. And that is Enemy Zero. Now, this kind of looks like a really big story-driven based game, and I believe it's made by the same studio, is it Warp, that made, yes it is, that made D in D2. And I liked the original D on the Sega Saturn. So Enemy Zero, with it probably being very big, as I mentioned, with storytelling, I am excited to finally play it. Now, the last game is a part of one of Sega's longest running franchises that isn't Sonic the Hedgehog, and that is the Shining series. This is an action RPG akin to The Legend of Zelda that I also never thought I would finally add this to the collection, and that is Shining Wisdom. Now, the American version is made by Working Designs, so anyone who knows Working Designs knows that they take great care when they were bringing over those 32-bit games with adding like some nice art style to it, like a metallic manual. It's kind of cool to actually own this game. Now, I know it's apparently not a longer game. I think it's also about like 10 to 15 hours long, but I own Shining in the Darkness, Shining Refrain Resonance, I own Shining the Holy Ark, and this is another one to just kind of add to that collection. The same basic franchise as Shining Force, so maybe Shining Force 3 will be the last thing I get on the Saturn to just kind of cap off that collection. But it's apparently different than the other ones because the other games were more like dungeon crawlers or regular RPGs or strategy RPGs, and because this is an action RPG, it kind of strays from the traditional Shining formula. But it's another game that I had seen on lists that if you could get it for a decent price to pick it up because it is one of those gems for the Sega Saturn. I didn't think this month I would be adding any Sega Saturn games to the collection. Nonetheless, like 3 awesome ones, and Johnny Bazooka Tone is unfortunately the one that I will have to form an opinion on. Aside from, I have to form an opinion on all of these, but I thought I was done collecting for the Sega Saturn when I got Panzer Dragoon Saga, and apparently I am lying to myself because 4 more games added to the collection. I don't know what I have going for me in January, if we're being honest, because the next 2 games I have pre-ordered aren't until February. And I'm not going to spoil those now. I know I actually have 3 games coming so far in January, but I really think going forward, or at least for a little while, this list, or this, the bigger games aren't really going to be showing up because and I say it every month, I'm trying to play through my collection. I lie to you guys. I don't know why I made the statement because I said it that I wasn't going to be buying much for November, and then I showed up with a whole bunch of games. But with that being said, I am so happy to finally have these in the collection. Right now, I'm finally playing through Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5, a game I got 3 years ago, and I'm finally getting to, which shows how big my backlog is at this point. But as always, guys, if you've played through any of these games that I showed you here today, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of them, and do you think I will like them? What also were your favorite games of this year? Because, hell, the year's over in 2 days as I'm recording this, and I want to know, what you enjoyed playing this year. And if you've stuck around through all my pickups this year, what did you think my best pickup was this year? Until next time, I will hopefully keep putting more content out there, even if it's not gaming related. But stay happy, stay healthy. I hope the new year brings you guys amazing amounts of joy and success. I will catch you later. See ya. Bye.